Welcome back to Shots with Devin, interactive photography lessons on the radio. We do that by tying in with my website, www.devinshots.com. If you go to that website, when it opens up, you see a great picture on the front page, and that is our co-host today, Chelsea.
Hi.
How you doing, Chelsea?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing well. It's pretty cool to have you with us today.
Very awesome.
I'm glad that you're here. Chelsea is a junior at Vernon High School. Mm-hmm. We've done a few photo shoots together, and we thought it would be fun to have you come in and join me on the show. So we videotape these shows, Chelsea, so if people can't catch it live, they can tie into the website later. They can actually pull up the videos, and you'll be able to actually watch your show, which I'm sure you'll do over and over again. The basis of our show is questions. We get questions from our co-hosts, and we also get questions from our listeners. We had a listener write in with a question. Wayne emailed me. He said, "Hello, Devin. Why don't you read the rest of it for me, Chelsea?"
I would like to know how to get the shots that shows life in action, but also makes a good photo for display. Many times you are out with a camera in hand, lots of friends and family around you, and they want to try to capture some of these moments. How do you get a nice shot that brings out the occasion and also focuses on the individual? Do you take shots
discreetly?
Oh, discreetly.
Did you stay back this year?
Yeah, actually. I'm on a 5-year plan.
Excellent.
Without their knowledge, so that the shots look natural, or do they get the attention so they can assist in the shot? What are your suggestions for getting life on film, Wayne?
I thought that was an excellent question. Wayne actually is a client of mine. We've done several shoots with him. Started with a family shot of his wife and himself and their son, and they've since had 2 daughters.
Oh.
So we've done maternity and newborn shoots with each of the new daughters. So Wayne's a good friend of mine, and he had this good question. So I thought we would talk about this. Let's look at some of the pictures that Wayne sent us, and we can narrow in on the answer this way. So the first picture is a wedding picture. And there's, no offense to Wayne, a lot wrong with this picture.
Yeah.
Right? Number one, remember we were talking about your images, Chelsea?
Yeah.
What's the problem with this one that you're seeing?
The light in this corner, and then it's dark in the other corner.
Yes.
So it doesn't even it out.
Yeah, so the right-hand side of the image is the light is so bright the woman's got her eyes closed. Mm-hmm. And then on the left side, the bride's underexposed.
Yeah.
Right? So what Wayne needed to do in this case was even out the lighting in the first place, mm-hmm. right? And then it's a very, very busy background. There's a lot of people. There's a lot of roof lines, a lot of distractions in this image, right? Mm-hmm. So if you want to get a nice picture, just take the time to set it up right.
Yeah.
Get the light right. Get a good background that's less distracting. You know, mm-hmm. if this looks like a snapshot, which means you pull the camera out and take a snap, mm-hmm. right? And maybe it was. Mm-hmm. But if he wanted a memorable photo, he could have taken a little bit of time to get that set up better.
Yeah. So
that's the first step, is get the light right and get a good backdrop. Let's look at his next picture here that he sent as a sample. By the way, I appreciate it when listeners write in their questions and you send me some pictures as examples. That gives us something to talk about. Now, what's the story with this one here? We've got 4 kids doing work. It's actually not too bad of a picture. He could have zoomed in a little better, mm-hmm. right? Remember we were talking about looking at the 4 corners? So what do you see in the 4 corners here that we don't need in that picture?
We don't need the light.
Definitely don't need the light. What I like about this is it is a little bit relaxed, a little bit informal. Mm-hmm. For myself, to answer Wayne's question, to capture a moment, this is obviously they're doing a renovation in the house here. I like to have some contact with the people typically. I would have had the kids put their arms around each other, get a little closer together, mm-hmm. crop in the picture. You know, this one, the little boy up there, he's got the screwdriver, the girl's got the drill. So there's some interaction going on, but I would have warmed it up a little bit and made it a more fun type picture, right? Yeah. So, okay, Wayne, yes, I would have posed this one, but I would have posed it in a way that had movement. They got their arms around each other. They're not in a straight line. They're smiling. I would have made them laugh.
Yeah.
Right?
You're good at that.
Yeah. Usually people are laughing at me, not with me, right, Chelsea? So that type of thing, work with them a little bit to get some movement. There's nothing wrong with you as the photographer behind the camera to get them to do something. Show the tools, make really gnarly faces or something, yeah. to make it exciting. So I think this picture is better than the first one.
Yeah.
But it's not as good as the next two, and I have a feeling that Wayne's wife took the next two. She's got the skills. That's a beautiful picture.
That is so cute.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
She obviously is talking to the girl. She's got even lighting. She's got nice color, good composition. I would have maybe kicked that one extra chair out of there.
Yeah.
Right? Take a little bit of time, set it up. Look in the four corners, Chelsea. What would you change?
Definitely the chair, the other chair. And then the window you kind of don't.
Right, maybe you could have moved the chair over just a little bit.
Yeah.
And what I like about what they did is they have a little bit of a intersection of lines.
Mm-hmm.
The chair's not facing you directly, right?
Yeah.
If the chair was facing you directly, the lines of the chair would match the lines of the siding.
Mm-hmm.
But being that it's got an angle, you've got these intersecting lines.
Yeah.
It gives you some dimension. So that's good.
Yeah.
So in this case, I would have just maybe moved the chair over a little bit.
Yeah.
Kick that other chair out of there. Nice picture. Next one, I think is a similar image. What makes that one work?
A little girl.
Yeah. They're interacting with her. They're getting her to smile. Now, remember we were talking about how it's usually not good to center an image?
Yeah.
Sometimes it is good to center an image.
Mm-hmm.
And in this case, where you've got such a vibrant photograph, if she was dead center in the middle, right? Maybe her head was in the top third horizontally, but if the chair itself was in the middle of the frame, it would just be that much more powerful.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, to answer Wayne's question, there's really a lot involved, but usually if I'm trying to capture a moment, I will set people up. That's one of the things that I do that is interesting. That we make it look informal, but we stage it so that it has aesthetic value. And then pay attention to your lighting and backdrops.
Yeah.
So, Chelsea, that's going to wrap up our show for today. Thanks so much for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
I hope you had a good time.
Oh, of course.
Next week, tune in to Shots with Devin, Saturdays every week at 3:30. Remember our sponsor, Certa Pro Painting, George Tuttle, does a great job. Give him a call. And we look forward to seeing you next week. That's it.
Cool.
Let's hope I remember to turn the video camera on. Yes. I did a show a couple weeks ago and forgot to turn the camera on.